Hey guys, Sam here from Bassline. So we've got a bit of a different racket review today, so not a brand that many people have really come across or heard of just yet anyway, which is great. So this brand is called Nordicdots. Okay, now what we have here is we have a racket called the Model 99. The racket itself has a string pattern of 16 by 20. It's a 300 gram racket, but what I really like about this frame, when it turned up in the post, it had a little sticker on the handle telling you exactly what weight each of the rackets are that you get. So, you know, as we all know, rackets when they come out of the production line, they all differ. They have a massive, they fluctuate a lot from their actual sort of printed on weight. So what was really cool is this racket is exactly 302 grams. So I thought that was a really nice touch. So I think that's great to know. As I say, it's a 302 gram racket. It's a 16 by 20 string pattern. So firstly, cosmetically, I'm always a massive fan of sort of less is more. And actually, the design looks great. I love the colour. I quite like the glossy feel. I don't think it's too bad. I am a bit of a sucker for a matte finish, I will say that. But again, I'm not against glossy finishes on rackets. But design-wise, looks fantastic. I mean, I haven't hit any balls with this yet, so it's going to be interesting to see what it feels like. Initial thought, does look like someone's just sort of squashed the end of it. It's got quite a bit on what looks like a square-shaped head. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see what happens. Let's hit some balls and get into it. Okay, so first initial feeling is I can definitely hit that ball with quite a lot of pace. Definitely hitting the ball harder, which for me is important. As long as I catch it out the middle of its sweet spot, then it feels nice. Solid on contact, can get enough spin. Again, that's just making sure that I get that out the centre. I definitely feel like that has a sweet spot slightly higher in the frame. That's better. That was rubbish. That's better. It's weird because I quite like the shape of the head now. I wasn't sure about it at the start. So, move your feet, Samuel. See, that's loads better. Backhand side. That sweet spot's definitely slightly higher up the frame. I think with that string pattern, you can definitely generate some nice spin. And it feels really solid on contact, feels really good. God, there's a dead one. It feels really maneuverable as well, actually. Slice feels really nice as well. Mate, that's all right, that. I quite like it. It's a dead ball again. So again, there's no problem with hitting the ball harder. There's definitely power there for sure.
see what it's like at the net. Again, a bit like on the ground strokes, feels really manoeuvrable, which again is a real positive. Absolutely no issue with spin and power. So that, again, feel like there's loads of pace, really manoeuvrable, loads of good feel. That feels really good. Okay. If I could serve like that every point I played, I might have been a bit better as a kid. So, as predicted, there's loads of pace. Love the power element to this frame, it's great. I quite like the balance as well. The way the racket, the way the weight is distributed throughout the frame feels really good. But power's definitely there. Just give a few second serves. Normally where my service game breaks down on second serves, I must admit. So definitely generate some nice spin. On the slice serve. And on the topspin serve too. Let's try a flat one again. Oh, there's my first shank. Okay, so to sum up, it's a really nice frame. I honestly really like that. Cosmetically looks great, feels great. Contact, you know, ball upon racket and contact feels really solid, which is for me is a really nice thing. Feels manoeuvrable. I must admit, I did at the start from using that to kind of struggle to find the sweet spot upon the racket. Now, I admit I don't hit every ball out the centre. Okay, I don't think anybody does, but I definitely feel like the sweet spot is slightly higher in the frame. It's actually got a slightly denser string pattern towards the top. So up here, as opposed to down here, it's a bit more open string pattern down here, and it gets a bit tighter towards the top. So I think once you manage to get the more balls out of the sweet spot, I was definitely hitting the ball with power, which for me, as we all know, is something I struggle with, but also with enough spin, which is great. I always love trying a racket from a brand that isn't really, isn't as well known, like Wilson and Head and Babolat and Dunlop Technofiber. They're quite well known brands. So I always think it's really exciting when you get a racket from a brand, Nordicdots in this example, which not many people have heard of. I always think it's quite brave as well for the brand to do that. There's a lot of rackets out there, and in order for a brand that's not very well known to develop a racket like this, it's ballsy, which I quite like. So I definitely recommend this racket to sort of advanced players, advanced club players. Again, it's a 300 gram or a 302 gram racket. Yeah, it's a great frame. Really impressed.